To Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, love sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events, and most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content, our sports guru, the business of sports gentleman, I use that term lightly, David Meltzer's in the house. Sports One Marketing, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Ron. Great to be here again.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. You will have to use your imagination today as we celebrate like we do every day. Today is National Popcorn Day. And I don't know. Damn! That one there just to me sounds like it's, I don't know, a little boring. Oh! That was the guy I was looking for. I knew that he was here with us somewhere. He was just sleeping. We have to wake him up once again. Speaking of wake him up, our federal government, they are at it again. National Institute of Health. You ready for this one? I got to let David. You're our sports guru here, so I don't know if you've seen this yet. I don't want you to get yourself in any trouble, but the National Institute of Health, obviously federal government, conducting a study through the University of California, San Diego, spends $406,875 sending text messages to Latino men telling them to exercise.
This is ridiculous.
Can you believe that? $400,000 in text. I don't know how you spend $400,000 texting. Don't they have the unlimited account from Verizon or something? $400,000 to send text messages telling Latino men to exercise. You know, to me, give me that 4-ounce wine glass curl and I'm happy, but that's our federal government spending your money and mine. Now, I wonder if they're going to send the same. Maybe they spent $400,000 sending text messages to members of the United States Supreme Court. Now, here's the newest one. This just came out this morning. The United States Supreme Court decided they will listen to arguments and rule on President Obama's authority to shield illegal aliens from deportation. Now, think about this. It only takes 4 justices to decide that they're going to hear a case, so we know which way those 4 are going to vote, most likely. But we knew that before they even agreed to hear the case. They're going to hear the case in April. They'll give their ruling by the end of June, and the president will definitely be out of office by January. Another case of, I think we might be wasting some taxpayer money. But, then again, it is our federal government. Speaking of wasting taxpayer money, you gotta love this one. Here's another one of those great things. Dodd-Frank, that is another one of the government methods of wasting taxpayer money. But here's the issue. I had this conversation with a couple of local independent lenders. They're talking right now that there's about 1% in your home loan rate, 1%, that is going to compliance with government regulations, specifically Dodd-Frank. So if you get a loan that's at 4.25% right now, 4.5%, 4%, you would be paying, if it wasn't for Dodd-Frank, 1 point less, 3.25%. 2.75, somewhere in there. How's that make you feel there, Mr. and Mrs. America, who is voting for the president?
So I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah. So, but here's the issue with that when you think about it. And again, if you are not a regular listener to Ron Siegel Radio, you would not know this. Here it is. The ones that are able to afford that, who do you think can afford most the idea of getting the paying for all this regulation? Do you think that it is the small independent lender, or do you think it is the big guys, Chase and Wells Fargo? Well, obviously it's Chase and Wells Fargo. They can afford it. So just another method of putting the independent out of business. Unbelievable how some of these things happen, but that is our government. That's the way it works. Unbelievable. Saw an article here. I'm trying to get it to come up on my computer here. Not having the best of luck. I'm going to have to see if I can find it a different way. Maybe we are finally getting it. An interesting poll going on in San Diego right now. This I saw in the San Diego Union Tribune. 50% of the respondents are against giving $350 million to the Chargers for a new stadium. Now, the poll goes on to look and say, okay, where is the blame for all of this going on? So 44% support it, 50% oppose, 7% are in La La Land. If the Chargers leave San Diego, would you support an attempt to bring the Oakland Raiders to San Diego? Would you support an attempt to bring another NFL team, or would you support an attempt to bring... I guess they say the same thing twice. Raiders, 18% of San Diego wants the Raiders to come. I don't know who those 18% are because I don't even want them to come to LA. I hope they stay in Oakland. 34% want another team. 45% say no team. Interesting. If the Chargers leave San Diego, would you support or oppose using public financing to renovate Qualcomm Stadium to bring an NFL team there? 34% support, 56% oppose. You wonder why the team is leaving? Chargers leave San Diego. Would you support or oppose using public financing to build a new stadium to bring another NFL team? 31% support, 58% oppose. That makes total sense to me. It took 21 years to get a team to come to LA after the Rams left. Why would you want to spend all that money in hopes of a team coming? If a new stadium, I love this one. If a new stadium is built, where should it go? I don't see where. I saw in the actual article itself, there were people that supported getting rid of SeaWorld and putting the stadium right there. I don't know if it's going to be a water sport or what they're planning on doing. Just some interesting stuff. We're going to have to chat with David about that if we have a little time, because there is some history. Today is a special day in history. I'm going to throw this quiz at David. He's our sports guru. This date, January 19th, 1974, it is historic. I had a problem with this athletic event there because I only have 3 favorite teams when it comes to college sports. And I root for these 3 favorite teams. I am a very, very big supporter of these 3 teams and 3 teams only. USC has got to be tops on the list. You know that. But then the other 2 are a little bit more difficult when it comes to this date in history. I am a big supporter of anybody that plays UCLA. And a big supporter of anybody that's playing Notre Dame. When they play each other, I've got this problem because I hope for a tie. Doesn't work out that way. And this date, 1974. Now, David, you've got Bradley here with you. He already harassed me about this. Alec, our key intern here, he's harassing because neither one of them were even around in 1974.
I know, it's embarrassing.
Now, old people like me, I don't know. I remember this. That's the shameful part. 1970. Put you on the spot, buddy.
That's all right. You've given me so many different clues. That must be when my favorite coach, John Wooden, even though I'm not a huge UCLA fan either, my favorite coach lost to Notre Dame after the biggest win streak in NCAA history.
Absolutely. You got it right. We gotta get it. Where's our we got this guy right here. There we go.
Thank you.
I don't know what you'll win, but you know something, and I can only imagine. I mean, obviously, I was not obviously. Some people that are watching would say different, and I know my kids will say different, but I was relatively young at the time.
I was young.
You were young. I was relatively young. I bet there's some great quotes that came from that game because I believe, and I said this to the coaches for my kids' ball teams also, that you can learn a lot more from the coach and about a coach when a team loses than when they win.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean,
that was the first thing that came to my mind is what did John Wooden say after the game?
You know something, we might have to look that up and talk about it during the broadcast, but you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, financial markets. When we come back, obviously with David Meltzer in the house, we've got to talk about the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl, the Rams coming to town, building a new stadium, and you know something, I might even throw a curveball at, the big Sports One marketing event coming up. I'll probably throw a curveball at him. I'll give him a little time to think about it. Kobe Bryant versus Peyton Manning. We'll talk about that too. You can reach us anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. If you got questions for David, you can go ahead and tweet them to us. We're watching that stream, or Facebook, Ron Siegel Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
It's not every day your home gets flooded, but when it happens, you've got the good people at Apris on your side. With over 25 years of construction and insurance experience, they can turn any disaster around, making your home good as new. For 24/7 support, call 844-GO-APRIS or find us on the web at www.apris.me. Day, night, rain, or shine, when it happens to you, you know what to do. Go Apris. Remember, call 844-GO-APRIS. That's 844-462-7747.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PAIR, P-E-A-R, Professional Equity Analysis Review to 79564 so you can get your equity analysis. You got to talk to somebody. You can't do these online. It does not work. Are you wondering what it takes to buy your first home? Well, there's a study for everything. It's amazing. When I was at Chapman College, now it's Chapman University, statistics, you used to always talk about the idea you can make a statistic say whatever you want it to say. There's always something to prove to support whatever your thesis is. So here are some of the typical first-time homebuyer actually looks like based on the National Association of Realtors profile of home buyers and sellers. First-time homebuyers, married couples, 56% of the time. Single females, obviously smarter than single males. 18% of them are first-time homebuyers. 11% of the single males are first-time homebuyers. Males age 30, females age 32, married couples age 31, unmarried couples, they'll buy a house 13% of the time, and their median age is 28 years. Others, first-time homebuyers, that comes out to 2%. They wait till age 45. They figure you might as well get into it sooner or later. Bottom line, you may not be much different than many people who have already purchased their first home. But I'm going to tell you, as I do every day, I have a real estate license. I do not use it for my own account, other than my own account. Meet with a real estate professional. Let them be the ones to help you. Using professionals costs you nothing. If they can't make you some good money, you find somebody else that can. That is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals, Ron Siegel Radio. If you want a copy of the Things to Consider guide, text HSG, Home Sellers Guide, to 79564. A chat today with David Meltzer, back in the house, our regular Business of Sports guru. David, there's been so much going on since you've been here last. I don't even know where to start. Let's go to the Rams.
Oh, awesome.
Rams coming home.
Yes, and
not to Baltimore though.
It's going to be huge for Los Angeles and Orange County and all other areas from Riverside back down. It's really interesting. I went to the Laker game, which we'll probably get into Kobe a little later, but I watched a sold-out crowd on Sunday night. Watched the Lakers lose by 25 or 30, whatever it was, and I thought to myself, the only downside of the Rams coming back is filling that stadium. There's a reason they left. There's a reason that 60% of the people in San Diego don't want to spend $500 million of taxpayer money to build that stadium. All of these reasons are that the biggest issue for the Rams is going to be filling the seats. It's plenty of TV money, plenty of merchandising money, plenty of fans, support. But the difference is you have a core in this area of about 20 to 25,000 sports fanatics that want to be involved with the experience.
Okay.
And then you're going to have another 40,000 seats to fill. And if they don't
they're
win,
not cheap.
No, and they're not cheap, even for affluent people. They're just not cheap compared to spending nothing in a humongous 3D TV or whatever the Ultra HD latest greatest of digital formatting is on the hands, on the tablets, and on the TVs. That 40,000 people will make the difference. It'll give all the media the reason to talk about why the Rams should have never come back. Even though the team's going to make money, the NFL's going to make money, but the problem is, will the taxpayers fill those seats?
Well, so that brings up, I've had this debate with several people online where we've gone back and forth over the Rams coming here. And a lot of people, the fanatic, you and I mean, you're in the industry, but me as just a guy talking on radio every morning, but we watch this and sometimes you forget the fact that it's a business. And Donald Sterling, whether you like him or not, in the early years with the Clippers, all he cared about was making money, and he was very outspoken about it. It wasn't about winning for him. It was about making money.
Yep, it's a business.
Right? And, that's what I think they're coming back here for, is the idea of you have to assume that a guy that's going to put $2 billion up of his own money to build a stadium is smart. He's not an idiot.
Absolutely not.
Right? He's doing it for a reason.
Oh, yeah. And he's doing it because they need a medium in which to have a performance on. And he is creating a venue that is multi-purpose for a reason as well. because he knows he cannot depend on 10 weeks really of Rams games.
Sure.
Right? 10 Sundays or Mondays or Thursdays. He can't depend on that. So he's a great businessman. I was with Mark Cuban at CES, and Mark reminded us that when he bought the Mavericks, it was $238 million. He bought the worst team in the NBA for the most money ever.
Right.
That team is now worth close to $2 billion.
Well, if the Clippers sold for $2 billion, the Mavericks have to be worth more than that.
Absolutely, and you look at Bombers, he laughs because Cuban said he had a bargain by buying the Clippers at $2 billion because he's guaranteed with the world format and what he does with the Clippers, he's guaranteed that team will be worth $4 billion in the next 10 to 20 years. So as an investment, as a businessman, and a guy who is in sports business, would you invest $2 billion with me if I'm guaranteed to make $2 billion in the next 10 to 20 years? Sounds pretty good.
And also the other part of it that you're famous for, have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, when you watch Ballmer, you watch Cuban on the sidelines, I don't see a lot of the owners, but you watch those two on the sidelines, they sure look like they're having fun.
Absolutely. I couldn't think. There's only 100 and I'm going to estimate about 112 professional teams that you can purchase. And that makes it fun by itself, right? You have a unique. That's why they want to share in that experience of ownership by having a corporate box, because we have that same prestige and fun of, come with me, Ron, let's go to the Rams game in my private suite when most of the people are watching it on TV in that suite anyway.
Right. Something, because I've gone to quite a few games at I don't know what they call it anymore. I still call it the Pond.
Yeah, right.
Right? But I've gone to quite a few games in suites, or events, I should say, in suites at the Pond. And you're right, you sit there in a great chair with great food, with a game going on below you while you're watching on TV.
Yeah, and even in the
stands. And I paid for parking to do that.
Yeah, in the new stadiums, I went to AT&T, last year national championship game to see the Buckeyes win, and I sat right in a great seat, mid-level, 50-yard line, and I said to myself, wow, the guy next to me paid $600 to $6,000 to watch this big TV, because you're literally forced to watch this huge 30-yard TV, and the game's going on right below me.
Wow, it just amazes me. Let's wait. So we're gonna get the Rams. Do you think we'll have any chance at all of getting a good product?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think we're going to get a really good product. Coach Fisher obviously has a lot of roots here.
USC gentleman.
Yeah,
obviously
USC and a Ram. I mean, the guy, he has a lot of pride, and he's going to put a good product on the field, and they want to win. The good thing is, just like the Dodgers and all the other LA teams, you have enough money to buy a good product, and on TV, forget the stadium.
Yeah, but David, you talk about enough money to buy a good product. There is still the Cowboys in the league, and
yeah, right, because we can't stop injuries. There's no doubt if Tony Romo would have stayed healthy, we'd be watching the Dallas Cowboys right now.
You think so?
Yeah, at least last week. You never know.
Your friend is having one heck of a year this year in Carolina.
Cam Newton, and he's the protege to Warren. He took on the number one from the number two, and it broke Warren's heart to lose that game with the big comeback. He does the Seahawks games.
Sure.
But he had a sense of resolve that it was Cam Newton as his protege to carry on the torch to try to win the Super Bowl.
Now, being the different sort of mind I have, the thing that I like the best of Cam Newton, I bet very few people are going to ever come up with this answer. The thing I love the best about what Cam Newton does, watching him give those footballs to the kids.
That's awesome, right?
Right, because those kids, it's made their life.
It's awesome.
Right?
And that's what I love about football or baseball or hockey in general is the players that get it.
Right.
The players that remember, I was in that stand watching Warren Moon, and what if Warren Moon would have run up to me and handed that to me? What would that mean to me? Now, my wife has a little different perspective. She really enjoys how great looking Cam Newton is. She still can't believe that
I'm not going to go there because that probably would not be.
But she can't believe that this guy has all this money, all this talent, and he's good looking. That's all I've heard the last week is, how does he have that's not even fair. I said, honey, you live with me. All this talent, all this money, and look at this.
Yeah.
I look like your little brother.
I'm the old fat bald guy, so what would I say?
I'm just a little shorter.
Just a little different version. But something, to me, that's what makes it all. And we're going to talk a little bit later about Kobe Bryant, watching what he's doing this year. And obviously he's had some of a rocky road in his career. But the fact that he's going out, making it that he plays every game at the away stadiums and giving those people and the fans the opportunity and going, making 48 million this year.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
If he's injured, he could make that sitting on the chair in sweats. But he makes sure to start the game and be there for the people. And we'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Concussions in the NFL. We're going to talk about that one. The big event at Sports One Marketing. Maybe there's a lot of big events for Sports One Marketing coming up. We'll talk about those. Reverse mortgages, protecting against Medicare surcharges. How's that work? You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by Commerce for a Cause, one of your favorite groups, David.
There you go.
Commerce for a Cause. How about if you collect credit cards, which most businesses do now. I went to a restaurant the other night that didn't take credit cards. Crazy place. Won't be back there very often. But if you take credit cards and you're paying a credit card processing fee, how about talking to our friends at Commerce for a Cause and see if you can get some of that money donated to your favorite charity? You gotta love that idea. I love giving back. It's if you live in this country, most of us do. We're blessed. We get to do a lot of things, and giving back, I think, is a very, very important part of it. Reverse mortgages can protect against new Medicare surcharges. Figure that one out. Well, the new Medicare surcharges that are set to go into effect look at cash flow of our seniors. Well, when they go and look at the cash flow, they determine what you're going to get, when you're going to get it, when you get more, when you get less. Well, using the reverse mortgage and having that reverse mortgage line of credit available does not affect your income because it's lent money. It's money coming out of your equity of your property. So it's going to help you in that aspect. Just a thought there. If you want to know more about it, our friend David Stocks is great at answering all of your questions with regard to the reverse mortgage. He's been on the broadcast before. I'd be happy to put you in touch with him over there at VIP Mortgage. That is the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. Continuing our conversation this morning with David Meltzer. We're having some fun chatting the business of sports. I'm gonna throw a little bit of controversy with you, David, just because I heard this morning, and it was, I'm not a big one for all this black, white, yellow, green. I'm colorblind, so to speak. That's why my wife dresses me. But I know you're real involved with the concussions in the NFL. I saw the movie, and there's a big movement right now to boycott the Academy Awards because Will Smith was not nominated for his part in Concussions. And I'm a big believer, who cares? I mean, why should somebody be nominated because of their skin color? Why should they be avoided because of their skin color? But let's talk about concussions because, we were talking during the break about Peyton Manning. Concussions, it's a big issue.
Yeah.
Are they finally getting resolution there for some of the older players?
So, we don't stumble on the speed bumps behind us. And what's done in the past is the past. Where Warren and I, we've created for...
Partner Warren Moon.
Warren Moon, yes, sorry. Okay. We created fortheplayers.com because the biggest issue for us is awareness of the retired players. They have a concussion settlement that is on appeal. It's a minimum of $1 billion to take care of these retired players. And here's the problem. It's apathy. There's two schools that we're worried about. Number one, the younger retired players. We're worried that they don't know that they need to get a baseline test before the settlement becomes effective. They don't know that they don't even need to have had a concussion to be covered by the settlement because there's no causation that needs to be proved in the settlement. So we have these young players that think, not for me. And that when they become 40, 50, or 60, it may be for them. And now they precluded themselves from any portion of the funds that are available, not only to them, but to their children and their spouses and all these people for the sacrifices that they've made for the game. Then the other school is the older guys who are already having effects themselves that just assume, because of their lack of business knowledge and situational knowledge, that it's like, the AT&T mass tort suit where they're just, when the settlement becomes effective, they're just going to get a check in the mail. And both of those schools are very dangerous because obviously it's to the NFL's benefit for this apathy and this lack of knowledge or alignment to be aware. And so both of these schools of players need to make sure that they're with the proper representation so that they can not only get the right baseline test before the effective date, make sure that they register. It's a 200-page settlement. But make sure that they're qualifying for level 1, level 2, for ALS, Parkinson's, any of these effects, because it's not only for them, because a lot of them are so selfless, but it's for their spouses and their families to make sure that they have enough money to take care of themselves throughout the next 50 years.
I'm a simple guy, so answer a real simple question. Why can't the Players Association or the collective bargain agreement force the players to, they have to get a physical before they sign a contract. Why can't it be forced that they get this baseline test?
Because of the conflict between the NFLPA and the NFL. So there is a lot of pressure for the NFLPA to make sure that they're in support, and not only of the retired players, but the NFL. And so what they've decided to do at the NFLPA is stay out of the issue. It's so far removed, and so the safest move for the NFLPA, which seems arbitrary and capricious and silly, that the Players Association is not taking the biggest stance to protect these players and make them aware of it. So it's very difficult for everyone. It's difficult for us, right? It's very difficult for Warren, Moon, and myself to even raise awareness about the settlement, because we don't want to hinder or harm the NFL in any way, or the NFLPA.
But you would think that it would be, again, I'm just a simple guy and I'm an outsider looking in. You would think that they would be saying, okay, if it would be great publicity to say, hey, we're looking out for these young players. And even though they're young, and most of us look and say, something, when I was 20 years old, I was pretty naive and made a lot of dumb decisions. We're going to force them to do things. I mean, I look at it and say, why aren't they forced to do that? I look at it and say, why is it that an NFL player that makes millions of dollars can be broke? When you look at, wasn't Joe Green, it was the center for the Steelers. I forgot who it was. Webster?
Webster, yes.
Right? I mean, he died broke, and he died, with all the concussion issues. These are things that, to a layman like me, I look at it and say, holy cow, why aren't we protecting these young men that are giving us such pleasure?
So there's the second side of it. Now we're talking about the rules today. So, the concussion protocols, the rule changes, all the things that Lee and I had worked on years past, back in the Aikman, Young, and Moon days.
Lee Steinberg.
Yeah, Lee Steinberg.
Okay.
What we've done, that's a separate issue than the settlement, right? The settlement exists. The NFL has come forward and said, here's a minimum of $1 billion that we've set aside for the guys that didn't know the risks. Now, the other side of it, which the NFLPA is heavily involved with, and the NFL, is how do we make not only the game safer, but make sure that these guys are aware of the risks that they're taking, and make sure that we're taking care of not putting them back into the game with these concussion protocols, baseline testing. There's even brain healing with theta energy that I've seen that actually can heal a brain faster, the same way we do a contusion or a ligament damage.
I watched a program just recently with Joe Namath, and they were talking about the hyperbaric chambers having what he believes is some great effect. Whether it's true or not, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know whether there's truth to it, but I know they talk about those hyperbaric chambers being beneficial for a lot of areas.
Yeah, there's many, and I know Joe's in support and the spokesman for the hyperbaric chambers in Miami, which is terrific. I truly believe, as you know, being the spiritual kind of sports business guy, is that if you believe something works, then that's the biggest hurdle for
Absolutely. So let's transition a little bit. You've got some events coming. We're going to start talking about that.
Sure. The busiest time of year. Let's start off with the Pro Bowl coming up. Hawaii.com has graciously sponsored our 17th annual Pro Bowl Players Party for the Crescent Moon Foundation, benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's at the top of the Waikiki restaurant on Thursday, January 28th, 6 to 10 p.m. We've done it for 17 years. We've raised tons of money for St. Jude and the Crescent Moon Foundation. We have players like Eric Dickerson, Michael Irvine, Warren Moon, Tony Gonzalez, Bobby Bell. The list goes on and on and on. It is a celebrity athlete filled event. We have the Hawaii 5-0 cast coming again this year. They're big Warren Moon fans.
I think most of us would much rather see the Baywatch cast, but Hawaii 5-0 is okay.
I'm a big fan of Pam Anderson still. It drives my wife crazy. Anyway, I'd vote for that. Well, if they're listening, Baywatch, you are all invited. On me, I have a full Baywatch table that I'm donating in honor of you. So please give us a call at Sports One Marketing.
So those of us that cannot get to Hawaii, are we able to donate or help the cause?
Absolutely. We could just go directly to Sports One Marketing or the CrescentMoonFoundation.com, and we are accepting donations for Crescent Moon and for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And like I said, we've raised a ton of money over the years and done some really great things, giving scholarships to kids and making sure that no child ever dies of cancer.
I love watching, because you are out there working so hard in so many areas. I love watching your career. and what you and Warren are doing together, but it never fails to have some component of giving back to the community and trying to help others. And I commend you guys for that. It's really great watching, and we'll ask Bradley if he'll take and put those links right there on our Facebook page, Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook. I know you're there all the time. Thanks, 30,000 of you there now, so that's awesome. So we're gonna put those links there. Go and give a little. It doesn't matter if you can't go to if you like football. How many people in the world like football, David?
95%.
95.
In America.
Right? I mean, it's okay, so there's 314 million people in America. Let's say if we can get half of them to donate $1.
That'd be beautiful.
Right? Think about all the good things that can be done. We're going to come back and talk more with David Meltzer when we come back. We got a lot to cover and not a lot of time, so stay tuned. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We are going to also chat about golden rules of staging. I don't know what it's about. We'll find out in a minute, though. Remember, you can reach me anytime. Call the off-air number. It's 800-306-1990. Go and donate to the Crescent Moon Foundation, St. Jude's Children's Research
Hospital. Yep.
And right there, you can do that. Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a loved one who wants to stay in their home, but you have health concerns about it? The Preferred Care team understands the challenges of caring for your loved ones. Their goal is to keep seniors as independent as possible while maintaining their health, safety, and overall well-being. Whether you need just a few hours a week or 24-hour care, Preferred Care caregivers are trained to meet your needs. Call Preferred Care at 714-696-9150. That's 714-696-9150. Or visit preferredcare.com.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Try the new lunch menu at the Cosmopolitan in Old Town San Diego, with new lunch specials from under $10 served Monday through Saturday from 11 till 4. Details at oldtowncosmopolitan.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Yeah, you need a board of directors. I don't know any business that does not have a board of directors. Why do you think you can get away with it within your own household? Real estate, mortgage, finance, CPAs, tax planners, attorneys, insurance. All you have to do is text ATP to 79564. Take a 2-minute survey. We will get you in touch with those that you need to know. And today we're going to talk about the 3 golden rules of staging. Now, this is part of the idea of marketing your house to sell it faster. Remember the front. I know so many people spend their time dealing with inside first impression. That's what people are going to see before they ever see what's going on inside. So make sure the front is good looking, clean, put in a few flowers, maybe some grass, get a little, to me, I don't know about you here in the state of confusion, but brown is not the new gold. I don't believe that. Make it match with your decor. There are there are no certainties that the design aesthetic you have is going to appeal to other buyers. I'm going to just say this because I can. I've never seen a house that a lady walks into that is to their taste. They want to make them individual. They want to make it theirs. They want to put their own custom touches on it. Try and make yours as general as possible. Minimize the accessories. Declutter. That's another one of those big issues. You don't want your property all cluttered. Nobody wants to see. You want them focusing on the room. Where's Johnny going to sleep? Where's Susie going to sleep? Not, boy, they looked great in Hawaii last year. Now, that's not what somebody wants to know. Just a few ideas on staging your house to sell it quicker. That's the Word on Wealth segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted professionals, Ron Siegel Radio. Continuing our conversation today, David Meltzer, Sports One Marketing, is in the house. The business of sports and anything else David and I come across to chat about. We have a good time whenever you come in, David.
The best. Yeah.
I love it. We covered a lot of areas. I know you're a Lakers fan, and I've just heard this recently. I want to get your take on it a little bit. What's going on with Kobe right now? The phenomenon, and I think, boy, the Lakers are going to make a mint. They're paying him, $48 million this year, something like that. And, I don't believe players or any, all of athletics is just crazy money. I can't fathom that kind of money. But, they're getting a great return on that investment. Then you contrast it to someone that I don't know the gentleman, but Peyton Manning, in my opinion, as just maybe I'm old, taking such high risk to play football. What do you think? This should be his last year, I hope.
I don't think it will be his last year, Peyton, if he doesn't win the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's a shame.
I compare it to a bad marriage almost, where you're getting hurt and you're getting hurt and you're getting hurt, but you're so in love with your wife and you should leave. And I hope, for his sake, he took that safety blitz to the back the last game, and I didn't think he was going to get up. And I thought, with all the surgeries he's had on his back, his neck, all the injuries that he's had, is it worth it? He's had a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Fame career.
Absolutely.
He's a winner in high school, college, and the pro. In fact, when I was in law school at Tulane, I went down with Coach Mora, and he was only 19 or 18 years old. And Coach Mora said, "You see that kid over there? He could start for us today." Bobby Hebert was the quarterback at the time. I go, "Who's that?" He goes, "Peyton Manning." That's how good Peyton Manning is. And why risk all of that for one more shot? So the difference is, he hasn't announced his retirement, and that's because he hasn't decided if he wants to retire or not. Kobe, on the other hand, knows that father time is one. He has gone through the surgeries. He has sacrificed physically everything that he could for the Lakers. And, I share my seats with Diane Cannon right there on the floor and sit right by Kobe when he's on the bench. He's more of a coach right now. He's taking a farewell tour. He's coaching. So I respect him because when he's on the court, he's given everything that his body can give.
That body doesn't have a lot to give anymore.
No, and he knows it. And it's nice because he's reconciled that finally. And then, two, he's coaching. What I like most about Kobe is he could walk through the season, right? He could go through the motions, collect all his gifts from the parting teams and get his heroes farewell. But he's actually, and I hate to say this, I think he cares more than some of the players that are sitting next to him on the bench. He's coaching. He's competitive. He's cheering. He wants this team to be better, and he wants the Laker legacy to live on.
I remember watching an interview many years ago with Magic Johnson, and that was one of the comments that he made. And as great as Magic was, I still think probably, to me, I think he was the second best player. I believe that Wilt Chamberlain was the best player ever.
Nice.
But Magic made the comment when he was coaching for that brief stint that his biggest problem he had was the fact that he was willing to do so much more than today's players are willing to do for the sport that he loves.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, some of the greatest advice that I got in business, I was a young executive at Thomson Reuters, and I had trouble managing a lot of people. And I said, well, I was taught to treat others like I treat myself. And my vice president told me, he said, Dave, you can't do that. Right? You're too hard on yourself. And I think that's the Magic Johnson problem, the Kobe problem, the Michael Jordan, the Wilt Chamberlain, is that not only were they blessed with unbelievable talent, but they have a work ethic, they have a focus, a discipline that is unparalleled, that takes their natural ability, because there's a lot of talented guys in the world.
Sure.
Right? But takes it to the next level with strategy, discipline, and awareness, and those guys do it.
But David, I think we could take that and apply that to, I think we can learn from that, I think is the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Because in any industry, that same thing applies. The guy that's willing to work the extra hours, the guy that's willing to, get himself educated on Sunday when everyone else is watching a ball game, those are the guys that seem like they're taking their career to the next level.
And that's what, not to bring up my book as a shameless plug, but that's what my book's about.
One of the best books of all time, I might add.
But it's that balance of not only this imagination, this dreaming of, having a foundation and your guidepost and the ability to attract what you want, taking your possibilities to probabilities with inspiration. But where you take that is discipline, strategy, and awareness. Real hard. I lived my first part of my life outworking everyone. I decided that I wasn't smarter, stronger, faster, but the thing that I could do is I could outwork you, but combined...
You control that.
Yeah, combined with talent.
Right.
I started figuring out what I do well, and then I combined my hard work to all of that inherent power, and then you become extremely purposeful and successful and happy, and everything becomes and gets attracted to you. And that's what Magic Johnson, Kobe, Wilt Chamberlain, Peyton Manning, all of these guys have. And Warren Moon, who I can't ever exclude from a conversation of hard work. Right. I always tell him, if they would have let him be a quarterback in the NFL, he never would have been the greatest. I truly believe that. Because he had something to prove.
Right.
That lit the fire for 6 years sitting up in Canada going, I'm better than these guys and I'm going to prove it.
And some of his statistics, when you put them together, they certainly prove it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, you put the Canadian statistics together with the NFL statistics. I mean, he's in the conversation that he's not in normally.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he should be in the conversation as being one of the best of all time, or maybe the best of all time.
Yeah. Well, people forget. He held every record before Brett Favre beat him. And now Peyton is beating Brett Favre. So that's not counting the 6 years in Canada.
Right.
All those yards, all those touchdowns, etc.
Well, I'm one of those people that, just from, maybe it's, I don't know, I just as a fan, that's the only way I can speak. I can't speak of anything other than that of a fan. But, you look at somebody like Peyton Manning, and maybe speaking as a father, you watch Archie Manning at the game the other night, and I would say if I saw my son on that field taking the hit that you're referring to, I think I would just be eating myself up, wondering, is he going to get up? Right? I mean, that's scary.
Well, I
assume he's not doing it for money.
No, not at all. He loves the game. It's like a bad marriage. He loves his wife. He cannot leave her. And, I sat with my 5-year-old son, and we're surrounded with football, right? I mark at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're surrounded by guys he doesn't even realize how great they are.
Sure.
And he's becoming this little football fan. How old do I have to be, Daddy, to play tackle football? And for the first time in my life, watching all that on TV, I'm thinking, you're going to have to really push me to play tackle football again. Flag football, I'm fine with it. And I try to push him the other way towards golf by treating golf like football, telling him he's not good enough to play golf, he's too small to play golf. All the things I was told to play football, I want him to prove me wrong and play golf.
Absolutely. Give us a quick plug, because we only have about 20 seconds left. The charities that we're talking about for the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl is Crescent Moon Foundation and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And thank you to Hawaii.com, because it would not be possible without Hawaii.com.
So go there and just say thank you. If you're an NFL fan and you don't get to go to games, you watch them for free on TV, go over there and give $1. Give 10, give 20, whatever makes you comfortable. Do it to help somebody else so they can watch that game just like you. And set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A very big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or want to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And I borrowed this from David, so remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
XAPA 1700 AM, Teka Bata Lipunan.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.